Alrighty, and we're back. Oh yeah, her first person hand doesn't have the glow effect either. So, the fusion suit version of the Phazon suit is the orange Phazon suit from the very end of Metroid Fusion. And I'll be totally honest, I was never really fond of the way the fusion suit, the purple, the dark purple, dark green fusion suit coloring. I hate the Varia suit coloring for the fusion suit. And I don't know, I just don't really like the orange color of the final suit, just because, I don't know, I liked Samus being like totally different. Alright. We have collected all the artifacts. Let me in so I can kick some ass. And then in comes the biggest lol nope. Did you forget about me? Probably the last time you saw me was at the first bit in Findrana Drifts. Dick move, Ridley. Dick move. So now it's time to fight Meta Ridley. Whoa, okay, whoa. Oh, he's out of scanning range. I gotta get close. Come on. Let me scan you. So this is Meta Ridley. He's basically Ridley except a cyborg. Wow, I have already done a surprising amount of damage to him. This first phase isn't actually that difficult. He just kind of like floats there. It's time consuming because, you know, he'll do this. Like he'll fly out way up there and then he'll come in for like a bombing run pretty much. Yeah, it's not really that difficult to avoid. And if you pay attention to your radar, you can kind of tell where he's gonna be. Now there's a glitch with this fight. It involves using the boost ball. And like you can hit Ridley with the boost ball in a really specific way that actually removes like three quarters of his health. I have no idea how to do it. Otherwise I would be doing it. But suffice to say, it's kind of ridiculous. Okay, he's right there. Oh. I believe it has to do with him like being down on the ground like this, and then you would just like boost into him or something like that. Oh, I think I did it. Yeah, I did it. Wow, cool. I just kind of did it by accident. Watch out for his tail. Bah! What the heck? He seems to be not taking damage. Well, he seems to not be getting stunned by my, Okay. You'll know you're doing it right when he starts going yellow. Oh, there we go. And then there's a way to, like, trap him in that animation with the Wave Buster. Let's see if we can pull that off. Oh, here we go. Yeah. This is how it works. The only problem is it uses up missiles like really fast. In fact, I'm pretty much out. Yeah. Huh. Oh. Oh my goodness, Negasonics here. Fortunately, the plasma beam still does ridiculous amounts of damage to him. So yeah, that's the meta Ridley fight. It's kind of underwhelming, actually. And yeah, that was literally the first time I ever did the boost ball Ridley skip, so that was cool, actually. I feel like a real speedrunner. Yeah. No offense, guys, but I gotta go fill up after that fight. Well, good for you. That's important, man. You're just in time for the ending of the game, though. Okay. Now, I know there's like a missile recharge station in the area we're visiting, but this is just... I'd rather do this. That way I don't have to stop at it. It's just easier. For me. Oh dear, it is actually raining in real life right now, and I should close my window. Un momento, por favor. And now my controller is stuck. Okay, got it. Oh, yep, it sounds like I just closed my window in time. It's starting to come down now. Sorry about that. And we are on our way. It's the final countdown. Oh, hey, save station. That was very nice of them to put a save station right in the first area, the impact crater. I kind of wish they put it somewhere a bit later, but I'll get into that. So yeah, this is the final segment of the game. You'll notice that this is Phazon, but it's orange or gold or whatever. So gold Phazon is actually, it said, aside from that, they're otherwise functionally the exact same as any other Metroid. Oh, there's one on me right now. Come on, there we go. Welcome to your doom. You'll also notice that like the inside of the impact crater has kind of like this icky, gross, organic thing going on. Like, ew, bones and teeth and kind of skin, and it's kind of like a... Oh god, another one? Seriously? Yeah, fish and Metroids are a pain in the ass. And the missile station that is here, we just passed it, it doesn't restore power bombs. Only missiles. Fortunately, 4 is actually more than enough for what is coming up next. last little bit of spider ball track in the game. You do need to be careful. The floor is covered with orange phazon. And here it comes. This is the Metroid Prime. It's time to gas. Alright, first scan it, obviously. Add it to your repertoire. So, you'll notice that it has a coloration to it. That means it is weak to certain weapons at certain times. Like right now, it is weak to power-based weapons. So, obviously, hit it with super missiles, because those are the most effective power-based weapons. Then it charges forward. Now it's effective to wave-type weapons. When it's like this, just fire charged wave shots. Don't bother using the wave buster, just because it wastes missiles that you need for when it takes on ice properties or power properties. So just don't bother using the wave buster in this stage of the fight. It's just not worth it. Also, just because like the wave beam, it does have like limited tracking ability automatically. So like firing charged wave shots, they just track the enemy, so you don't really got to worry about missing that often. I mean, you'll see like sometimes shots are bouncing. Its attacks, when it's doing that, like, charged laser thing, the effect of it changes based on what element it has. In power, it just does a lot of damage and blinds you. In wave, it will actually fizzle out your visor. In ice, obviously, it freezes you. In ice, just hit it with the ice spreader, because it's basically a giant ice missile that like locks on, hits it, does an assload of damage. On normal mode, it's and don't worry too much about running out of supplies in this fight, because he can actually drop supplies for you, depending on how the fight goes. Okay, went back to wave. Also, because like in wave and plasma, you don't have to worry about expending missiles at all. Also, you can fire multiple shots at once in missiles. I just call them stink missiles because it's funny. That just leave a poison cloud that does poison damage, so you got to be careful of that. The only mode we haven't seen is plasma mode. In plasma, that laser also burns you and starts causing burn damage. So you really don't want to be hit by him when he's in plasma mode. His plasma mode is by far the most damaging of all modes. So, fortunately, so is your plasma mode. I think he's gonna go plasma. Yeah, yep, there we go. Okay, he has his own version of the grapple beam, as you can see here. You just want to pull back. Just pull back. When in plasma mode, just hit him with like plasma shots, just because like the plasma beam does so much damage. Okay, so these orbs, these are how you get extra supplies throughout the fight. You can lock onto them. Oh, those are the stink missiles I was talking about. You can lock onto them, and if you destroy them, they'll drop pickups. Also, he can take burn damage if you hit him with a charged plasma beam shot. Yeah, that laser right there. You really want to avoid that. So yeah, shooting those orbs will make them drop pickups that you can, you know, pull in with the charge beam and all that. And as you saw, missiles are among them. And of course, they have the same effects as the lasers. So the wave orbs will disrupt your visor. Plasma orbs will like start causing burn damage. Ice orbs will freeze you. So yeah, you want to be careful when fighting this guy. Okay, come on. Oh god, see, that's the disruption I'm talking about. Oh god. It also does like continuous damage while he's hitting you with it. It's not like a thing where you can like avoid some of it with like mercy invincibility or anything like that. It's just like you're taking damage from it as long as you're being hit by it. So if he hits you with it, you want to get out of it as soon as possible, just so you stop like bleeding hell. Wave's definitely the most irritating of all of his forms, just because the Wave King just does pathetic damage. And then, of course, when he charges, you want to go into a more fallen, like, roll through the trenches. Alright, ice. Hitting him with the ice spreader also stops him for a little bit, which is nice. It'll let you take care of, like, orbs. Okay, whoa! If you get frozen, you just gotta rapidly jump in order to get out of it. Oh, missed with that. Oh boy. Those ice orbs are gonna get real close. They can also explode if they get too close and just causes splash damage. Oh yeah, I really love this final boss. It's a really fun fight. It's a little long, but it's really intense, and the music's awesome. And the design is really cool. Like, everything just really emphasizes just how weird, creepy, and alien this thing is. Okay, hit him with the ice spreader. Yeah! Hit him again. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, here comes the magma beam. Really don't want to be caught in that. Oh god, oh. Yeah, it makes you start bleeding health really fast. Fortunately, hitting him with your own ultra magma beam starts doing the same thing to him. Okay. Now, also, is when he starts changing phases just completely of his own volition. Like, see right there. He changed to ice, and now he's changed to power. Oh boy. Missiles. Oh great, he's in wave. Oh, there's an explanation for why the Metroid Prime looks like this. Part of it's a phase-on thing. Like, this is just something that happens to Metroids after they're exposed to phase-on. And part of it's also Space Pirates experimenting on him as well. Like, a lot of the weaponry that it's using, like the missile launchers and all that, that was actually given to the Metroid Prime by the Space Pirates, because they actually found it while they were investigating, like, what little of the impact crater they could explore, so that they could, you know, kind of see what they could do. I'll change to ice. That's good if I can hit him. There we go. Oh, there we go. Almost done. There's like one more phase in him. Oh, ice. Nice. Oh, okay. I'm pretty sure he just trolled me there. Boom! And that's the end of Phase 1. Behold my true form and despair! So this is the Metroid Prime outside of its exoskeleton. It is completely immune to any and all weaponry. It also just looks goddamn creepy. And it's huge, too, like... I think part of it's, like, because of the perspective sometimes, but, like, this thing is actually pretty huge. Okay, so what it's doing now, it's dropping that little puddle of Phazon on the floor. And it's also turning invisible. What you gotta do is you gotta change visors, and then jump into the pool of Phazon and just hammer it. Because you actually have a weapon that was given to you at the same time as the Phazon suit, called the Phazon Beam. And when it can only be activated in like pure, like super concentrated Phazon, which only the Metroid Prime can create. It can't be activated in like other like non-pure forms of Phazon, like. So you gotta wait for this guy, ow, to drop a puddle of Phazon like that. And then, you know, it'll turn invisible to one of your visors, so you gotta change visors again. And this is what the Phazon Beam looks like. So, obviously its main attack is pretty much just that shockwave. And, like, doing that to, like, just get up in your face, pretty much. It won't drop a puddle of Phazon every time it shifts. So, you just gotta be patient. Also, the music for this fight is amazing. It's actually a remix of the title theme. There we go. That's what I want. And then because he's still standing on top of it, you kind of want to wait for him to move. There we go. Phazon Beam is pretty cool because you can actually see like cracks appearing in Samus's arm cannon just from like the sheer power it has. But yeah, this fight is pretty much avoiding his attacks and waiting for him to summon a puddle of Phazon like that. He can also summon Metroids. If that happens, just hit him with a power bomb. Destroys them in one hit. You can also destroy him in one hit using the Phazon Beam. Oh, where is he? Okay. There we go. Because the Metroids have tendency to drop power bombs after you kill them. So, like, I used one power bomb and got two back. So, the main reason you want to use power bombs is because it's kind of hard to tell right away if you're dealing with, like, regular Metroids or fission Metroids. And the puddle of Phazon does not last forever, so you want to make use of it, like, as soon as you can. And having to deal with Metroids is just kind of a pain. Alright, there we go. Bay-day bang, bay-day boom. Oh god, where is he? Okay, he's right in my face. Yeah, look at that. That's awesome. But yeah, because this is hard mode, he has like a jillion health. So this is gonna take a while. Oh, there's a couple Hunter Metroids. And by that I mean there were a couple Hunter Metroids. Oh, one survived. Yeah, like I said, Phazon Beam just destroys them instantly, so... I mean, if you're up shit creek without a paddle, you can always just use it, but it means you're dedicating less of it to destroying the Metroid Prime. Oh, and the visor cycle is always the same. It always goes normal, X-ray, thermal, normal. So, you don't have to worry about him, like, you know, suddenly becoming, like changing the order. It's always the same. It's the only bit of random chance is whether or not he actually summons a puddle of Phazon. Oh god, ow. I don't think so, buddy. Getting pretty close. I think three more of that and he's done. 3 or 4. This part of the fight definitely isn't as intense or satisfying as the first half of the fight, though. Like, it is kind of like a disappointing final battle, I guess. I mean, this part's cool. Like, basically shooting a Kamehameha out of your gun is pretty cool. And I do kind of like how they sort of, like, build it up. Like, the game doesn't tell you get the Phazon Beam, but if you, like, go into your pause menu, one of the first things you see is Arm Cannon, and then all of a sudden you just see this entry for Phazon Beam that wasn't there before, and you're like, what? And you can actually, like, read about it, and it's like, oh, you can only use it in, like, a really pure pool of Phazon. And you're like, oh, wow, gosh. I think that's kind of cool. But yeah, this guy's huge. Like, he's like twice the size of Samus or something, 3 times. I don't know. He is deceptively big. It's like 1 pixel left. Almost got him. Come on. Okay, so he changed phase without dropping a puddle. Hopefully, the next time he changes phase, he'll drop a puddle. Come on. Come on, big guy. Oh god, get out of my face. Oh boy. Where will my regular beam work on you? Boo-hoo. One more. Just one more. Come on. I know you want to do it. Thank you. Powerbomb the Fish and Metroid because... fuck 'em. And fuck you. This bitch is toast. Ah, see, now it kind of looks more like a traditional Metroid, just kind of more sea urchin than jellyfish. If I go down, I'm taking you with me. Oh, that worked out. Yep, better get the heck hell out of here. Woo! So, this is about where the game cuts. If you have less than 70% of the items, it cuts right there. If you have more than 70% of the items, you get to see this part, where you actually get to see Samus's face, you get to see her look out over the destruction. Even though, like, it looks very out of place, because it's, like, pseudo-realistic, and, like, the rest of her body's kind of like a cartoon bounty hunter armor suit. I do kind of prefer it over, like, the more anime design they went with for Prime 2 and Prime 3. But that's just me. I kind of wish they had just updated that face design rather than going with the kind of big-eyed anime design. So that's the first secret ending. There's another secret ending after the credits. But that's Metroid Prime. Not much else to say about it. I mean, I guess I could sum up my thoughts. I mean, this is, without a doubt, just one of my, if not my favorite game of all time. Just up there in the top 5, just because it's so good. Like, everything about it. I love the interconnected world. Like, you know, there's like all kinds of shortcuts here and there and everywhere that you can use to like travel around the world at like your own pace. There's so many things hidden in the world, so many things to find. The scan visor is just one of the coolest things ever. Just, you know, being able to like see something and scan it, and even if you don't get something important, even if it doesn't get added to the logbook, to just get a little flavor of the world that you're in. You know, to like just like scan like a piece of art, and then, you know, oh, this is like a ceremonial thing for like warriors or something like that. Like, that's just really cool. It just makes the world feel more real, even though, you know, there's ridiculous things in it. There's the doors you have to shoot everywhere, even though this was supposedly a society that like forsook technology. But I mean, like, that's just one of those like video game things. It was cool seeing the space pirates actually get kind of a personality. You know, like reading all their different, you know, things that they're typing out. Like, oh my god, don't antagonize the Metroids. You know, don't. If you see Samus, like, shoot her, kill her. Just like, and if you do it, you get like extra rations for 3 months. Oh god, don't ever try to recreate the Morph Ball ever again. Like, just all that kind of stuff just really sits together. And to think that, like, this was, like, the first project for Retro Studios, really. Oh yeah, and Gunpei Yokoi, he's the guy who originally created Metroid. Gunpei Yokoi is responsible for a lot of things that we take for granted these days. The D-pad, the Game Boy, like, he was one of Nintendo's, like, geniuses. He's actually kind of responsible for them getting into the toy and games industry in the first place. So, like, huge props to him. The credits theme is a nice extended mix of the main menu theme too, which is cool. But yeah, this is just excellent game all around, I think. Sorry for the sudden potato quality. That kind of seems to be an issue with the pre-rendered scenes. Bada boom! So we 100%ed hard mode. And it took 7-11. It took 7-11. Good lord. And here comes the second secret ending. Again, apologies for the potato quality, but that kind of seems to be a consequence of these video files. I'm not really sure what's going on. Say what? Well, I'm sure that won't result in anything awful whatsoever. Yes, I would like to save to the memory card in slot A. Thank you. So yeah, that was good time. So the fusion suit that I was using for the majority of that stream, that is one of the finishing the game rewards. Now that's actually the finishing the game reward for Metroid Prime. There is another finishing the game reward for finishing Metroid Fusion. If you go to Metroid Fusion Connection bonuses, I've already done it, but if you get the Metroid Fusion suit by completing Metroid Prime and then connecting it to Metroid Fusion using a GBA GCN link cable, you unlock the original NES Metroid by finishing Metroid Fusion. And this is straight up the original Metroid. Original NES Metroid. It's pretty cool. This is actually the first time I ever played this game, was through this. I remember really not liking it at the time. I still don't really like it that much. I respect it for what it is. And like, at the time, it was definitely a really cool, really unique, really interesting idea. And it led to, like, my favorite game series of all time. So, like, I respect this. I respect this a great deal for what it is. It's excellent. I really like it. But, I mean, if we're being completely honest here, it has not aged nearly as well as some other Nintendo classics like Mario or, gosh, even Zelda aged better than this, I think. But yeah, Zero Mission is a remake of the original Metroid, and it improves on it in just about every way. It uses the Fusion engine as a base, so the controls are much more like Fusion. You'll note that Samus, in like the first 3 Metroid games, the original Metroid, Metroid 2, and Super Metroid, she's very floaty, which is kind of a big difference from the way she controls in Fusion or Zero Mission, where she has like a lot of weight to her actions. Like, she doesn't jump nearly as high, she doesn't like float in the air nearly as much. But anyway, at this point I'm rambling. But Metroid Prime will return. And the March of Metroid will continue. Because next time, we're going to be looking at Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, which in many ways improves upon just about everything in this game. But in many other ways, it can be seen as a bit of a step back. And I can understand why people wouldn't like it, because of some of the changes it makes. I'd say I put it on about the same level as this game, which is, I mean, kind of like where I sit on the thing. Like, either this is my favorite game or Metroid Prime 2 is my favorite game. It just kind of depends on what day of the week it is. Metroid 1 I would definitely consider a bad game. Metroid 2, honestly, hasn't aged that poorly. When I replayed it a couple years ago, I actually had a pretty fair amount of fun playing it, compared to Metroid 1. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's bad, actually. I know I hated it the first time I played it, but honestly, playing it now, it's honestly pretty impressive for what it is. And just, I'm kind of surprised it's as good as it is. But Metroid 1 definitely has not aged well at all. So, I want to thank everybody who enjoyed, and even everybody who didn't enjoy but watched anyway, just because, hey, at least you let me have my bit. So, yeah, that's kind of about it. I don't know when I'm gonna start the Metroid Prime 2 stream, but look out for it, because it is gonna happen in the March of Metroid. See y'all next time.